I'm Jess. I am a sophomore, and I am currently designing a program of emphasis in women's and gender studies. My story also comes from Judges. It is the story of a woman who is also unnamed, who is brutally raped and murdered, and I'm attempting to give her her own voice back. I wanted more. I needed more, so I ran. I ran far from him. I needed an escape. I couldn't live with him anymore. Under his roof, with his rules, I needed an escape. And so I ran. And for a while, I had my escape. I was happy again. But then he came to me. He wanted to speak kindly to me. He wanted me back in his house. But he never spoke a word. For 5 days. 5 days. They drank, and they ate, and they laughed, but not a word to me. I sat there for 5 days, waiting for him to take me back to that place. I didn't want to go, but I didn't have a choice. And then we left. Him, his servants, his donkeys, and then me. And we walked for hours. But it wasn't long enough. The sun was setting, and it was too dangerous. So we stopped and waited for someone, anyone, to take us in. This old man took us in. He trusted him. He was from his town. He was supposed to take care of us. But he only took care of him. They came to the door. They pounded, shouted, demanded. They wanted him and only him. They wanted to rape him and hurt him. They wanted him. But that old man, that damned old man, he couldn't stand for it, not to him. So he offered them his daughter and then me. He told them to take us. He told them to do what they please. He told them to do what they please, just not to him. He told them to take us. But they didn't want her or me. They wanted him. They demanded him. They wanted him. But they didn't want her or me. But he wouldn't allow it. He wasn't going to be humiliated. He grabbed my arm, dragged me through the house. Her, take her, take her. I screamed and fought and tried and tried and tried. He opened the door, just enough so I could fit through it. He pushed me out the door. He pushed me out the door. They took me somewhere. Where, I do not know, but they took their turns. They each took their turns, shoving things inside of me, bottles and staffs, and then themselves. They kept shoving things inside of me. I don't know how long they had me, or how many times they hit me, or how many men there were. I cried and screamed and fought. I never thought I would see the day again. The sun broke and erased them, and I ran far from there. I ran back to him, anywhere was better than there. His house, the old man's house, the desert, anywhere but there. My body was moving, stumbling. I couldn't feel my body, but it was moving. I saw the door and stopped. My body stopped moving, my brain stopped moving, I stopped, and my body gave way. He almost tripped over me. He left the house. He didn't know where I was. He didn't know where I was. And he didn't seem to care. He almost tripped over me. He yelled at me. We're leaving, he said. Get up, we're going. I couldn't feel my legs, or my lungs, or my tongue. I laid there, waiting for him. He picked up my body, weak, horrified, and helpless. He took my body to his house. He laid me on his table. I couldn't speak or move or see, and I just laid there, waiting for him. And then he took his knife, he looked at my face, and he cut me into pieces, limb from limb from limb. He tore me apart, and I laid there, waiting for him. I wanted more. I needed more. I needed an escape.